Aramaira, e te iwi e. Welcome. Why that particular greeting? Because kei te tua iwa o ngā tohu tātou e haere ana, we're on the ninth symbol. And the ninth symbol in this pathway of learning is actually He Tohu Pōwhiri. It's about what happens, the process of pōwhiri from both a karanga perspective and a whai kōrero perspective. What's required when you come on as a manuhiri and from the home people themselves. So let's just have a quick look at this without getting into too much detail. What you have here is a marae Aotea. You have the whare nui represented here with the people from the whare, the tangata whenua, or the haukainga, and then you have the tomokanga, which is where you come on to the marae Aotea and where the manuhiri gather. So basically what's happening when you come onto a marae is if you are a visitor onto a marae, you will gather here. And to start the process of a pōhiri or pōwhiri, the karanga will start that process. So you have karanga or calls that come from the manuhiri side, and then you also have karanga that come from the tangata whenua haukainga side. So what you will hear first is the first karanga will come from the home people, the people of the marae. He karanga manuhiri. Katahi, that's the first one. That is responded to by the manuhiri who call in response. He karanga in response to the haukainga. So they reply to the first call from the home people. When that is complete, the second call from the haukainga or the people of the marae will come out. And it is a karanga that acknowledges those who have passed on. It acknowledges those who have passed on from the manuhiri side. The second karanga from the manuhiri side, from the visitors, will respond to that saying, welcome those who have passed on that we bring on to your marae. The third karanga from the home people will be called, and it will be a karanga explaining what the purpose of the day is, what the kaupapa of the day is. Yeah? Then that will be responded to by the third and final call from the visitors, acknowledging the kaupapa of the day or why they've arrived. And then the very last karanga you will hear will be from the home people, which is a karanga to be settled, letting the visitors know to be seated or to be settled on the marae Aotea. So, e whitu ngā karanga, e whā ngā karanga ki te taha o te haukainga, e toru ngā karanga ki te taha o ngā manuhiri. 4 from the home people and 3 in response from the visitors. That's what happens with the karanga. Ka pai? With the whai kōrero, I won't go into too much details, but there are also gatherings for living, like general meetings, birthdays, weddings. There's a format of doing whai kōrero or mihi mihi for hui tangata ora, which is for the living. And then there is also another format, whai kōrero, for hui tangata mate, for those who have passed on. What I want to display here is when you go onto a marae, there are 2 main forms of the way people are greeted and mihi to. One is called paeke, where the haukainga, the home people, will all stand up first, their speakers, and maybe 1, it may be 2, it may be 3, it may be more than that, but they will all stand up and do their whai kōrero or their mihi first. Once they're finished, it will be responded to by the visitors, and then all of their speakers will respond. That is called paeke. The other format you will see in terms of mihi mihi whai kōrero on the marae is a format they call tau utu utu, where it's basically just crosses 1 for 1. The home people will always start the whai kōrero. Once one person has spoken, it will swap over to the visitors. Their first speaker will speak, second speaker from the home people, second speaker from the visitors, third speaker from the home people, third speakers from the visitors, and then the home people will finish off. That is actually called tau utu utu. So those are the main dynamics you will see from a karanga perspective and a whai kōrero perspective should you go onto a marae. Ngā mihi.